My journeys of being a parent. That was not how you said it.
No, that was fine.
Today I'm going to be talking about ages and stages. The first stage I'm going to be talking about is the newborn stage. For me, it's dun dun dun. For others, it's like yay, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just that newborn was not my favorite stage, and I feel bad saying that because others have really good experiences. I'm going to share with you the differences between my son and my daughter during the newborn stage, my favorite items that I got to use when they were newborns, and also 3 pieces of advice that was given to me and I cherish till this day. I want to share the differences with my 2 children because it's good and healthy to realize that no 2 children are the same, and I had to learn them each differently. The first night that we brought my son home was a dark night. And I don't know what happened at the end of the night, except that our son was in a swinging chair with a very scary lullaby playing on. The first night we brought our daughter home was actually a good night. She was a good sleeper. She gave us 3 to 4 hours, which I was not used to because in my first child, that just didn't happen. When I had alone time with my son, I was able to give him all the time in the world. We would do tummy time. I would sing rhymes to him. I would even read books to him, even though he couldn't understand them. My alone time with my daughter was a little different because I had my 2-year-old son at home with us. Whenever he would take his naps, which was very few, I would make sure that time with her was special. My first outing with my son happened, I believe, when he was maybe 10 days old because I was so scared of getting out of the house and nervous, but the walls made me crazy and I wanted to get him out. It was like my mission to get him out. After packing bags and like everything that I thought I needed, but it weighed like 8 pounds altogether, we put him in the car. He was crying the whole time, and we get to the beach where we're gonna walk him, and he threw up everywhere. And so I had to change him right in that back seat, but I was not giving up. However, it was disheartening because I didn't want to go out again in a car. My first outing with our daughter was different because our 2-year-old son was just not having it and I needed to get him out. So my daughter was probably like 4 days old or 5, I think, and we had to get her out to the playground. She had no choice. There was no choice in this situation. I didn't even pack a lot of things. I didn't have time to think. It just had to be done. It wasn't planned, but it was needed. In the newborn stage, that even though you think the second will be like the first, it's not. And I experienced that it was different. Now, during these 0 to 2 months, because that is the newborn stage, there were certain items that I used all the time that were like a lifesaver. A pacifier. And even though a lot of other people don't use pacifiers, I was so against the pacifier in the beginning. But then I realized that I wanted it when our son wouldn't sleep without it. So something comforting to them, whether it's a pacifier, a blankie, to me, that was super important. It just so happens that both of my children love the pacifier. The second item that I really like to use was a blanket to swaddle them. They usually sell these with a Velcro on them so that it's a proper step in swaddling. But my husband, for the second child, learned how to do it with just any blanket. We wanted to give them something that would keep them nice and cozy and to make them feel secure. So that worked out. My other item that I really loved was the zipper onesies. At night, when my children would wake up, it was so nice that after I nursed them, I would change their diaper and I wouldn't have to button each button up the way. I would have one zipper up and that would be good. That was my favorite. Now I'm going to throw something in different. Something I thought we would like but I didn't like was the camera monitor. We had the video with the temperature in the room and the sound levels that I thought we would really like. I hated it because I would look at it and be scared if my son would wake up. For our second born, what we did was we got a $19 monitor that we would just hear her cry if she cried. That worked out best for us. Now, the 3 pieces of advice that I would like to share with you that helped me a lot was, first, during this stage, all they need to be is loved and they need to feel secure. When they're crying, you need to go pick them up and you gotta cuddle them and hold them and do those cute little bouncy talks when you're like, please go to sleep, but I'm gonna talk to you because you're so darn cute. That was really important during that stage. Even though I was super obsessed with routines and trying to get more than 3 hours of sleep, the newborn stage just wasn't that for us. It was a time of just needing to meet those cries and cuddling them when they need those cuddles. My aunt gave me a wonderful piece of advice. When we had our firstborn and he was not sleeping at 3 hours, he was giving us 1 to 2 hours a night. My aunt looked at me at my baggy eyes and she said to me, I promise you one day you will sleep again. I love that advice. It gave me hope because today I am sleeping. My other piece of advice was from my father-in-law. I was so worried that I shouldn't cuddle my firstborn too much because then he would get used to it and not want to sleep on his own. And I was just getting so much parent guilt from other parents about it because he would only nap 20 minutes at a time. But if he was sleeping on me, he would sleep for 2 hours. And I was just so worried about that. And my father-in-law said, hold him as much as you can because you won't be able to do that for long. I love that advice. Even though the newborn stage was not my favorite, it was still a very sweet time that I cherish. So, from my half messy life to yours, find any moment in the newborn stage to cherish.